Welcome to Anatomy in Nutshell. In this video we are going to see the uterus anatomy part 2. There is no other organ quite like the uterus. It's a beautiful quote said by Gaskin. In this video we are going to see the various ligaments and supports of the uterus and the applied aspect of the uterus. Coming to the ligaments of the uterus, the true ligaments of the uterus are round ligaments, McEnroth's ligaments, uterosacral ligaments, pubocervical ligaments. The false ligaments are anterior ligament, posterior ligament, rectouterine folds, and broad ligament. First, round ligaments. It lies between the layers of the broad ligament. From the lateral angle of the uterus, runs along the lateral pelvic wall, enters through the deep inguinal ring, traverses the inguinal canal, and ends at the subcutaneous tissue of the labia majors. It is the structure equivalent to the spermatic cord in the male. The round ligament is accompanied by a peritoneal pouch in the fetal life. Later, the peritoneal remnant is called canal of Nuck. It is the remnant of the distal part of the gubernaculum of ovary, maintains the anteverted and anteflexed position of the uterus. Next, we are going to see the McEnroth's ligaments, otherwise called transverse cervical ligament or caudinal ligament of the uterus, paracervical or lateral cervical ligament of the uterus. It is a condensation of the endopelvic fascia around the uterine vessels. Extends laterally from the cervicovaginal junction to the fascia covering the levator ani. The next ligament is the uterosacral ligament. It extends from the cervix to the sacral vertebra S2 and S3, passes on each side of the rectum, enclosed within the rectouterine folds of the peritoneum. They maintains the anteversion and the anteflexion along with round ligament of the uterus, accompanied by lymph vessels from the cervix. Pubocervical ligaments. The cervix to the pubic bones along the inferolateral surfaces of the bladder, pulls the cervix forwards and contract the excessive tractions of the uterosacral ligaments on the posterior aspect. Anterior ligament. They are called utrovesical fold of peritoneum. They are false ligament reflected onto the superior surface of the bladder from the anterior aspect of the uterus at the level of the isthmus. The next is the posterior ligament. The rectovaginal fold of peritoneum reflected from the back of the posterior fornix of the vagina onto the front of the anterior aspect of the rectum. It forms the bottom of a deep pouch called the rectouterine pouch, otherwise called pouch of Douglas. The rectouterine folds, they are semilunar in shape. It contains the uterosacral ligaments. It forms a lateral boundary for the pouch of Douglas, otherwise called rectouterine pouch. Next, we are going to see the rectouterine pouch. Anteriorly, it's bounded by the supravaginal cervix and the posterior fornix of the vagina. Posteriorly, the middle one-third of the rectum. On the either side, by the rectouterine folds, the floor is formed by the rectovaginal fold. It is about 7.5 cm above the vagina. If we insert the index finger and the middle finger through the vaginal orifice, we can palpate this rectouterine pouch at about 7.5 cm. Then the broad ligaments, the two lateral ligaments formed by the peritoneum from the sides of the uterus to the lateral walls of the pelvis, divides the pelvic cavity into two portions. Anterior part contains the urinary bladder, posterior part the rectum and the sigmoid colon. The contents of the broad ligaments are the uterine tube in the superior aspect, round ligament of the uterus, ligament of ovary, the epiphron and paraophron, they are embryological remnant, the ovarian vessels, uterine vessels, uterovaginal, ovarian nerve plexus, and the lymph vessels. The subdivisions of the broad ligaments are mesosalpinx. It extends from the uterine tube to the ovary with the ligament of ovary. The mesometrium, it extends from the ovary to the base of the broad ligament. Mesoovarium, it lies on the posterior layer of the broad ligament where the ovary is attached. Infundibulopelvic ligament, otherwise called suspensory ligament of ovary, connects the ovary and fallopian tube to the pelvic wall. Next, supports of uterus. The main the ligaments supports the uterus are McEnroth's ligament, uterosacral, pubocervical and round ligaments. The muscles are levator ani, perineal body and urogenital diaphragm. the anteverter anteflexion portion of the uterus, pelvic supportive tissues and organs. First, we elevator ane muscle. It acts like a hammock from above and holding the uterus from descending down during increased intra-abdominal pressure like pregnancy. The main muscle is the pubococcygeus. It has few slings. The pubovaginalis part during the contraction occludes urogenital hiatus. The puborectalis part pulls the rectum forwards, thereby supporting the posterior wall of vagina. This in turn helps the preventing the prolapse of the uterus downwards. Next is urogenital diaphragm and perineal body. The sphincter urethra externus and sphincter vaginalis lying in the deep perineal space forms the urogenital diaphragm and supporting the vagina from below. All the muscles of the perineum and the levator ani are attached to the perineal body, which anchors and supports these muscles. I will post the perineal body as a separate video. 3 cardinal ligaments from the cervix to the surrounding pelvic walls holds the uterus upright and prevents the downward displacements during the increased intra-abdominal pressure. Mainly the uterosacral ligament, the transverse cervical ligament and the pubocervical ligament. The round ligament and the uterosacral ligament maintains the anteverted and anteflexed position. The anteverted uterus rests on the superior surface of the urinary bladder. Next, the applied aspect. First, endometriosis. Presence of the endometrial tissue other than the uterine cavity is called endometriosis. Common in 30 to 40 years of age group. Most common sites are pouch of Douglas and the ovary. It produces the severe painful menstruation in females. Fibroids is a benign tumor of the uterus. It's more common in the reproductive age group. Various types are submucous, intramural and the subserosal in position. Otherwise called leiomyoma. In large fibroids, we are doing the hysterectomy. The next condition is uterine prolapse. The unsupported uterus descends downwards through the pelvis and comes out through the vagina. Common in multiparous women. Injury to the levator ani muscle and the perineal body during the delivery predisposes the uterine prolapse. Most common in the old age people. Uterine and the cervical biopsy to rule out the cancer and for the hormonal assay. The colposcopy is the visualization of the cervix through the endoscope. Ducts of the cervical glands when blocked and produces bulges on the surface with the stagnant secretion is called the Nabothian cyst. We can see the cervical cancer through the colposcopy examination and take biopsy. And the colposcopy, it's a very important procedure in the in vitro fertilization techniques to retrieve the ova. And to take the biopsy from the ovary, we are approaching the ovary through the posterior fornix and to collect fluid from the peritoneal cavity for the diagnosis. The pelvic laparoscopy, the laparoscopic examination of the ovary, uterine tube and the uterus, the external aspect for to rule out any pathology in the various organs of the pelvis. Thanks for watching. Subscribe Anatomy in Nutshell channel. Watch more videos in the Anatomy in Nutshell channel.